Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, o see them yopo.
Ghana your democracy as soon so one day ya babedru and your koya could do a point now it was teetering on the brink of a possible crash. And now amount for a name of best son I'm yet to revival your democracy because it got to a point the various institutions are the fundamental framework and no sooner democracy agent ya crashing. So individuals were rather ruling the states at the behest of their own conveniences. No, the day emra and nema and juma. So when this change of government came, no, people were looking forward to say, "You bet me I restore sa nema nunina." No. But there has been a certain trend that I think that is quite clear because when the NDC took over, some element within the MPP made it quite clear that they will make the state ungovernable for the president. And I think that true to that particular promise, you know, there are certain things a month for a year clearly you could see say sa agenda no is in play. Yet I am so much disappointed in the so-called Ghana Bar situation. You see, who said once again, a few days ago, we saw them going gun blazing. Because you see Chief Justice, saying certain constitutional process has been activated. And true to that, in the process, they had him removed. Saying Ghana Bar Association was all over. And one of your own, because judges and the Ghana Bar Association, you know, even though it's a different entity, but one way or the other, you are in the same pool. GBA. So my question is that quite recently, Afenyo, who happens to be a member of the Ghana Bar Association, was insulting a judge, telling the judge, say, "Oh, yeah, NDC, and I am so disappointed in you see the selectivity. Abronye but Afenyo can say, "Huna change we can." Sa Abrante yo kasa boom boom no more nam koko asesa or koko politics yes in Sawam MP no. He said very disgusting and disparaging stuff at way in the past Canada Japan and go insulted judges and as a form of chroma say. So I think that if it must be done, it must be done right. Now you're making sure say Abronye and Anosundi or kind there targeting about other people because in summer Afenyo marking and others account chroma concerning judges and as a form obi ankasa judge yote first akundamnu SNDC t-shirt. Oman can okroma insulted them then as a forum say the Chief Justice anyway and I shall access NDC judges but yatna chrome ha the judiciary became so dirty to a point say judgment babon say in baby ayeko jailed. Baumia was in Togo and he never issued condemnation when judges were doling out judgment. Ghana felt that those judgments were so dangerous and detrimental to the constitutional health of this country. Where was Baumia? To the point to say the national security capo of the country at the time who served under Dr. Baumia in the person of national security conference saying Kandapa Kase. When your judges every judge ada yan tenase yetimi shada ba tenase na ya panel we sabe be favor amamfo sad faces we nyina no Ghana for I go through na maka say he who comes into equity must come with clean hands ya bedu a point ya sa nema we nyina ejitum say nya we must condemn it in no uncertain term because it's in the past we condemn. If it happens today we must equally condemn. But Dr. Baumia, somebody, a vice president of the Republic of Ghana, will go into an election defeated so badly to the point to say it was an embarrassing scene. At this point, you know, all that he needs to do is about rebranding himself and come out as a different person altogether. Today, he's out there issuing statement defending this nonsense that is happening around, giving a certain political legitimacy to some of this nonsense his people are doing because some na all come one some say na Ghana ay kangaroo state no has for no. Da ben na yet na krom ha. Sa niema we were so intense to the point to say now people were living scared for their life. My point is say you see in politics and leadership now they be a consistency is very key. What it happened no. What was the position of Dr. Bawumia when people were being arrested left, right, center without legitimate cause? Yeah. Debia mekame da brante we ye friend say example you see a friend bongo ideas. The last time me say he was arrested, the guy was kidnapped. Yeah, arrested. He was abducted from his house, kidnapped, molested, but treated, taking it through Obaya North Airport. He was kidnapped. It got to a point people were being arrested left, right, center. Dr. Bawumia never condemned to a point there. The certain attorney general, who is the people's lawyer, was conspiring with criminals to have some security. So you must always be very mindful. Now we navigate through this particular storm with a certain sense of decency. Now who have to go through. In the recent years, Yahudia judges, Ayo Kroma say, man for were so worried. But nobody singled out a particular judge and insulted the person. Said, Judge, we were expressing concerns about the general outlook. Judiciary never so dirty to the point that something needed to be done until the Chief Justice became a subject of public way. Now, a man for air dragging or then her as an individual because a certain accusations has been leveled against her. It became legitimate for us to discuss her as a Chief Justice, not as a judge, but as an administrator of the judiciary and the offense an administrative head. And he say about drew a point, baby. Na nipa betimi akwadina radio sa fra judge ababe gina sese ne sabe oya kwasea aye ye fa ne say oye NDC ni na NDC t-shirt and then as for national. I don't know. You've gone into arena and go beyond freedom of speech and freedom of expression, and you'll be penalized for that. Yes, my principal position has always been this contempt. I say, your friends will be a cassette judge, me free saying because just like the president in the discharge of his duty. A man for better me holding accountable, no. The same way judges must also be held accountable. But then I was aware and I say, the papa, you shouldn't be scared of backlash. You understand? Yeah. So that immunity, now they are man saying the discharge of their duties. Your friends say, a man for them who didn't say no chroma say. So for that one, I am not for. But yeah, to go after Obi. Now we didn't attempt can say my enemy and then as a form at this particular point in time when those changes have not way, you cannot be protected. You understand? Yeah. And some na Abronye, are you reckless, are you irresponsible, so disparaging to the stand say no right. Your friend say normal person who agrees as I don't know, and once again would not. Your friend say so name so be kasa na banya go akwa channel democracy the most crucial part is freedom of expression and the freedom of speech. Amaka say in a democracy and for two na se kan ye no ideas exchange in some of the nipa na kan nyeri nyina na woni nipa na ba ya adwen. Yeah. And there is no guarantee any pan there won't buy happiness or you better platform where there was a time I was on a platform of all can't say you're no yarding. I say I had your IPAC platform. We don't come here to build consensus. Yeah. So the differences in opinion and enrich the quality of the democratic discourse but with that in mind, it does not also give you that overwhelming power to be saying things that say are reckless. I endanger national security. First, so Emma ruling a favor MPP endanger national security, and they should be careful. It shows that something was wrong at the time. So Dr. Bawumia never activated his sense of constitutional guidance. He wants to tell the whole world, say he's a guardian when it comes to the constitutionality and the constitutionalism. Say democracy. Today, he's in opposition, and he has no credibility to the standard. When this whole thing started, there was this Akrabi, I say a friend, Fanti, when on social media writing nonsense and defaming the president, he was smart enough to walk into the gentleman's house to console him because he has been arrested. As a leader, when you push yourself into that line, it means when I was so and if that particular thing has become pervasive as an agenda you have set in motion that is giving rise to all these things. So who will be as leadership as here. The very moment you come in to condemn, it is a way of you protecting your investment. Because these guys are your investment. But when they insulted your fellow president, you went to them one after the other, patted them at the back, said, "Come on, I am with you." And these people attained that political legitimacy. No more yet, more yet, no. And the another day, spelled over. You cannot come and condemn because you initiated and sponsored it. What I said, I say, politics, people do it with a very narrow way of thinking. Because if you want to go expansive, now you will not complain. I am not saying that Niama national security for right, because me the one I saw culture said doom so I buy your arrest. I totally disagree with that particular thing because so we culture said doom so is back. You don't go gun blazing, arresting the person and those kind of stuff. And so Abronye way there, your friends Abronye there say you're jailing, you're reminding. People don't understand why you're reminding. The MPP lawyers quickly after the court, and on one radio so interview say, "Oh, judge,
I think he was rearrested."
Yes, almost a judge they say he should be reminded until the case is over, which is a lie. According to Omom say it was 2 weeks because date Modi Abronye share yes Omra court so one ma the judge will take your friends a protective measure just to ensure you say to keep you so that anytime you hear be obeba. Because it doesn't make sense there will be a report to a court now about say nipa nipa yes he am remanding for 2 weeks. No, it means he defaulted at some point in time. You may disagree with the judgment, but because he did something and a judge now yes sir I disagree because he has proven that he's in this country, he will not run away, and I don't see the need that you ever reminded for 2 weeks. But maybe the judge was also taking that proactive, preventive way. So punishment I made which can be a subject of debate, you understand? But we cannot sit here and pretend to say your friend say Dr. Baumia need to come to the realization say social media no more and you've gotten to a point that cannot fester because 1990 politics now man for nam Togo just to paint Jerry Rollins say till date the family member one of the ladies. So these are the people you are dealing with. So you got to be very careful when you're dealing with them, you understand? And I think that maybe the security is so aggressive. Trying to, address some of these things. But in reality, for me, I think decency must prevail. And he who comes into equity must come with a clean hands. Dr. Baumia Kwatanan said he's not learning anything. But now I'm to say he has set up committee na say for na wutie names ne nipa mo ne na and I'm a catcher say and I'm a catcher say it means that they are not learning anything. You see, because who lose political power, what you need to do is to bridge and build confidence. And thereby acquire MPP for MXC our Ghana your politics in trust and confidence. The NDC may mess up. But the question is, can the ordinary Ghanaian forget about Nneema Akufo-Addo? Because what is hunting Baumia today and will continue to hunt him going into 2028 election is the ghost of Akufo-Addo's terrible government. That particular ghost, across a scarecrow, it will follow him and until the political career. Because NDC may do one or two things, but the question is the MPP Baumia an alternative considering Nneema Akufo-Addo? The answer is simply no. You understand? So you need to sit down, rebrand yourself, and see how our communication best how our can best but I'm general secretary 2 minutes we are going camera nim kasa ina also wonti to papa so sana wakeka nsem no basa na odi agu ho sa ade we the way kwaje political power like I say so wo ye politics na da bia wan kasa wo nkurofo na eboje oso a ya unko ba bia you have the capacity to convince the intelligent mind within society to agree with you. By that bia, if you are wowing your own folks, which majority of them are not designing individuals, they are emotional, tribal, supporters, no mudi wachia. You are not getting anywhere. You should have the capacity to convince the average intelligent person, say, the MPP you saw, that was branded a criminal enterprise. The MPP that was stealing left, right, center. The MPP and the finance minister, Janako Jina America, and now you're not just Dr. Baumia Enhuye. And today he has the guts and the audacity to be telling people, say, he wants to be president. When the finance minister wanted in the year, Juma, about Ghana for corn, no Janako will be mine. So now, if it's a Ghana is a serious country, and people will give hearing to some of these people. What I said.
Not at all.
But these shameless characters today have the infantry questioning the credibility of Ghana's democracy because things are not going in their favor. I think that they should all just shut up and give us a break because until they put their houses together and begin to do the basic things that Ghana for here. For instance, Akufo-Addo ne Baumia fa phone akache kenu for that say, baby, I want to go anymore. So come back home, come and answer now. I think these people have no moral audacity to be telling Ghanaians how democracy should be handled in this particular country. They should just shut up and give us a break. Enough of this emerging nonsense. I think that we've seen enough.
All right, about any accountability. The aura is our second hat. If they fail, they'll be fired. All right. I'll see if JDM failed accountability, there wouldn't be no mercy. Or need them Crawford and the World Cup. Anyway, Ivan Yanshe, Yenya Bema okay from Pong. I think say he's been in the news for about 3 days now. Say Yachino one Netherlands and Ramiti on about the Fiamapo and I know what I say US for issue arrest warrant be for questioning bills and and that's the reason why they intercepted him and then the same baby. So as a questions baby, but my dream say then na nipa de say na bibisa na etimi go through them. Na peke no for that another that bra nya no.
Yeah.
All right.
It's funny, but I think that it's sad.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's sad because really this gentleman is somebody. I think about Ghana politics. He has done a lot.
Yeah.
And nipa bebra falling in love with him. And for him to say Obeba as an independent candidate.
I mean,
a place obi anim say you known MPP stronghold. Now bet me break that monopoly. Now what when the seat as an independent person, I trust that he did a good job. And ever since Oko Parliament, and I think the Nema oil has been felt. And we see a man for go back in the constituency and then for clearly you see he's doing a lot. I'll bet me they are changing the life of the people. Yeah. So the Ecosu has nothing to do with his political life. I think that a past life may be catching up with him, and I think that is where very disappointing at this stage. It remains speculations, conjecture, assumptions, and in some amount for but feed back into the one monster over the years. You're confronted with these issues of fraud. Abutrika and other people have been in the news. Doing a general analysis on this particular thing, I told you, I don't know if you remember Abra now or the other side. The captain said, we are 2022 is when I said this thing. The FBI has a lineup of a number of people.
Yeah, I remember that.
They'll be picking up. Yes, because you see, the US is such that whenever Obu say Obi name be or like Kronon keten na se for them na. Because you see, they are not interested in those small monies you take. They want to see, because financing of terrorism has been one of the major ways the FBI they are dealing with. So when people begin to engage in some of these things, sometimes they want to understand the syndicate, everybody behind it, just to know. Say, Sikana Mojano Heneko. So my man for say you must be dumb to think, say, Ubetime Ajisika from America. go through the world financial system. America is the country behind it. On the building here, BBR. Transfer now who we are saying because the IMF today can sit at their office and know how much dollars came into Ghana. They have those numbers, and every year they've been releasing. So you must be a fool to think that the true financial system of Kruma now why fraud. It's funny, and I you know, say you not survive some of these things. But sometimes omunya ma oswa na ebia mere and just trying to understand the ground side the city, so they can sometimes allow you to wait maybe over millions of dollars because they know they can find a way of retrieving. So Neamana who some more investigation in maybe shall say 2015, maybe 2017, maybe 2018, maybe way now and at the day of reckoning about or more namswa or more air amanfwa air koso, and it's unfortunate. And some of these people you see, I know Munina na fraud no be.
Yeah.
And Makacha sa Ghana category no. Omu free omo won chichi omu suya. Asofo kan ho bi. Owners of radio stations kan ho bi and some other people. Omebe Munina because what they do ni say omo mo ye fraud no e kakra bi. But you may be an innocent person we are very popular. So the person who approach you so me was sika be person meje e wa America. Una wo account.
Wow, for account to beje mame.
E ho na asofo no ho beka no. Because in the US, whenever you are who transmit sika for a charity church organization, exempt the tax, your friends are people don't pay taxes, those kind of way, you know. So they almost send those kind of through those accounts. In the name of charity. So for no wa sorry what has said no obagiatum in the name of into obagia no man a cat. So you got to a point that you say asofo ni to talk us bebre no more chicha bebre. I don't know if you remember that time will come.
Omushu are not ten.
That era will come. Onya adwuma bia but sa sika no betoma nipa ni ya no amount be, and some of the musicians got involved in some of these things. They were not doing the fraud itself, but because
they were using their accounts
innocently, you might not know. So some of the people you see, may not be direct. Your friends saying people are involved. Yes, but people doing it, it's so easy to steal the money. But to transfer it is the issue. So some succeeded in creating shell companies. More than yet those way, so company as if they are working, and they will be transmitting through those network and the people doing the fraud in Ghana, for Nigeria, for more America, do not and more form and syndicate, so because I do one person bet me, it's not possible. So a team, it is a network, more can say these people are involved, according to sources, this particular gentleman is involved, There are about 27 people, almost 26 have been convicted.
Wow.
Yes, 26 have been convicted. So the last person is perceived to be this person, which at this point in time we cannot say or deny whether until the issues come because details be by. So the thing is that Wakacha Manfo said, Sa nema we nya nema udu hushema. No. But I just want to believe that never no more cannot. This gentleman will not be part of it. I be mere your friend say wake
assumption.
Not whatever it is, be an result because he has been doing good. He has been doing well, and I think the presence in Parliament, is bringing a lot of goodies to his people at the other side. And MP no about two no. I'm not saying. And the appear could be. I listened to his interview. Abronye. I have a lot of respect.
Oh, that man! I told him Dan Michiano Greek ministry, and I'm a catcher and so honorable. You are too good to be in the NPP. He was laughing at me. And I'm saying, so you are too good.
He's really a gentleman because on Abronye number two no.
Sure.
Issue no by and I listened to his interview on a station. And he was quick enough to protect the gentleman. He said, it's too early. Issues being until nobody knows anything. And people should hasten slowly and allow the investigation to. And you see, when the FBI comes calling, you can't do anything about it. Now, sitting president Komako Swam will say, the difficulty they had is that, yes, there has been an arrest warrant. Seeking to take this gentleman. But you see, he's a sitting MP. And Abu Treka case, approval as a test case. who's the difficulty they've been going through. And there's a person with a diplomatic shield and a parliamentary immunity.
Yeah.
You cannot come here. You may have all the legitimate way, but the state giving him out, will be a defeat of the state power. And the state, people will come after the state. So the US saw that and they realized that they cannot do that.
They can't do that.
So they were looking for him to get out. The very moment you get out, then that immunity, then as a for strip of I'll go through this particular way. And the US and the Netherlands, those kind of way, easily they can extradite you to do.
But I think they don't have that with UK, right?
Oh, UK, they have those arrangements. Now, Western Europe, America owns the entire Western Europe.
Yeah.
And America say Europe with the western part is Americans' backyard. They can just do anything. And this over here, UK Prime Minister. Recently, on Trump getting into a banter back and forth. After a month, what would they have to know? He's either going to resign or his own people are going to. So Europe, if you know the story, you know that America controls almost all of them. Because Germany was built from the ashes by America. The UK, France, and they control all of them. Italy, almost all the countries. And then people are trying to be hard. So when America comes calling, you can't do anything about it. And I think that it's quite unfortunate. But we know, you see, there are certain things at any point in time you may do. One way, it will come hunting you at the time. Because operation US for a most of the people are more not people who are in it now, but the past life because for them now no more conclude our investigation. Every I saw for they are making Sikana for account be 2017 2018 free say we are but Afenyo the day of reckoning they will be coming after almost everybody we are involved because you may not be directly involved. But what do account and and I'm more account to just as kind of dogs will come say.
Account to
oh yeah. And yes, your financial way. Oh yeah. I'm for the account to J. I'm for a critical company then as a former or model J. Oh, obetia ba oh yeah. And I'm musician we are popular. Oh, I mean for music before I can do. Maybe I wouldn't move you. Member of $50,000.
Okay. What say ya?
And the would
from Keke.
So want to mean cast a wouldn't. Yeah. Go be this for account for more $50,000. I wouldn't you should be very smart enough to know that and maybe better. And then on a month for the so it could be that the person is not directly involved, but he had an account and then as a phone. So I think that era is here. We need to do because
I remember that issue you spoke on. That was 2022.
Yes, when the FBI come call, you can't do anything. But with the diplomatic channel that's been open now, because I'm told the gentleman traveled on the diplomatic passport. But you see, when the US is involved, all these things become nonsense. That is what you need to do. Yes, because that's Papa or Mochi, MPP ni Okoton Koke or Mochi ni on Mujeli ni Nkranzani the cotton cookie omochini.
Yes, that's a dinner banner.
Yes. No. That's what to go with diplomatic passport.
Yeah, no much.
But or them for how many years and son of back. When they now several from Kochi or someone. When the FBI is involved there, Obia will come down and they will make sure that the law. So let us pray say in some more cannot end no credit. But no credit, there is no way you can get away. Because my counsel said, U.S. investigation, they don't just come after you. The very moment they come, it means that the investigation is conclusive. That is why almost everybody who has been arrested about 90% have been convicted. That is the issue with it. I think that going forward we need to. And I think the internet fraud and as a foreign are quite obvious. And I'm for a year fraud as a phone. Sometimes my catcher I'm for say Obia who are okra magic machine via or password and as a for Obehu. Most of the I'm for movie or more, especially Momo, then as a phone your Friday be fishing and now social engineering. People can just study your lifestyle and for instance, Oko Facebook, I know we are sending a link. If you don't click on this link, your friend say your account will be deleted to who you are click so. That particular way, a fake link and depending on creative. And enter your details and for so anything you enter will go to the person. So the very moment you enter your password, your everything, the person will later log in and log you out. And I'm say your account. That's what they do. And again, social media, we have a momo social engineering is so easy to predict or be password. For instance, who's your banner with 40 years to 80, 50 years? Obviously, the momo pin, the last 4 digits of the phone number. Quite obvious. And your friend is saying, Obi or your teenager, and then as a form, definitely Obi or her a date of birth.
Date of birth.
Or maybe 21 years, they're going our wakra at that age. Your friends and the bar firstborn, and the date of birth.
The password.
The pin.
Yeah.
So these are some social engineering, and Nipana can study you to get some of these things so easily. Then as a form. So I think that. So international protect some of these things no ento but fraud I can was a large scale man for a year trans international way yeah that man for abroad so they do not know because
Ghana pastor me can send me sir me catch now me can TV so say I say Ghana for your near to because unim say abroad no ma Jimmy pa
they trust easily
ma Jimmy China na almost systems the board
they trust easily especially almost US adaba ko a challenge loneliness and we have depression and as for to be on kunawu and ono ko anete so when they find those online na wo betimi akosi oba na me pe na as for no mo nya sa dating about 90% of omo online and so they trust those lines okay be business na se for no na dem ba na ho so no
na scam
na ne ho akwakodim ne na se for no but wo gisika is different but quite fast over be do nsa no and another thing because airport you can come with more than $10,000 unless I would be baby na no can they may scan and see they will monitor you because there are people who have been moving around the airport with more than $10,000 air cover. But they also want to study the extent of that particular operations, who is involved, when are this kind of those kind of way. There are those who they don't transfer the Sikano or they are not their cotton cars. I don't know what I name, I know a whole lot of Nema air coso. And here for my means Jimmy.
Or cotton car now, no showcase.
A man tell your motor butre can answer for you. What way? One ton fuel, 1 ton cocoa, 1 ton mansa. Or Winyafe. That's a wako new sika. Now the social media, the package cano, I will win the camera. And another day, one hour on one man. Wow. What I say? Some of these things come calling. It's just stupidity of some of these people. And also, can who be? Or what I say? You know what
you've been able to bring the money down.
Yeah.
Camera
so social media. Now we see when you'll be accept. What I say? And you know, and I can anti money. I thought that Jimmy. Because what I brand when you see so the very moment you do some of these things, and what people don't know, they say American intelligence. America say my more example when Kwame Nkrumah was president almost 40% of the security people in Ghana were working for your friend saying the foreign intelligence services and as for now we say ajay and somebody may be in uniform so your Ghana police in Ghana so but indirectly they're also working for some of these things, you know. So if you understand the dynamics and how intricate some of these things are, you'll be very careful in dealing with some of these things. So I think Parliament should follow this particular thing because Nema among for anticipating, you know, say ekwayesa ebebu Ghana ni mase. Sure. We just hope say enkwayesa never one of those maybe mistaken identity, those kind of way. Say because Ghana Parliament basa first one no your friends say yenya bi na ekoke nipa no kodam we be kan ho a be ma credibility ni na se for low. So we just hope say be one of those things because the gentleman has been very good. For me, I'm very much impressed with the kind of person all in the politics. In the life before politics, we knew anything about it. And then as a foreigner, but I think the life within politics, you know. And again, Abra Chadaba so obedi president. You know? Yeah. People started questioning the source of his wealth. And he was angry. You see, if you're not ready to do some of these things, you can't get into politics. Because if you want to venture into politics, some of these things, Ghana is a serious country. Yeah. Because you can't just buy from anywhere with tons of money. Now you're chicha. I know the day nobody questions you. Now we're what's in our way.
You think all is well.
And I think that ACCC should give us a pause. Now, young reviews are going forward, you know, every single money that comes into the political space must be vetted, audited, know the source of the money first. My name said most of the people involved, you know, engage in some of these shady deals. You know? Nobody is prepared. You understand? And this is one year. But in the end, you know, I come back Ghana for and I for. And then to a point that we are Ghana and India board here. Do you know the first now? Nigeria for now almost check you but then we are Ghana and enough for they will check you because Omodo Mwako Nigeria for now fraud and they say we must be very careful. Now you sanitize the system, making sure that everything is done right.
Some way I okay na me first opportunity so na education kakra means me nya me fan to so say who took kwine so I was so making sure say won ko do obi a bag en fan kan wo de ho yes a problem a wo be nya no do nya me won't me nyu hu ano
mistake Ghana for year
me kan na the last time na wa konta na ukunu na me kunu tu me for say also no there were tutu kwan bebre and he had that encounter nipa no so person de ne bag ka na me ko so hinja ayare me na me ka cho say fa bag bebrebe my family dey ba ko dey kwa say me fa wo de enka me de ho and you see oni ni ko do Russia no they arrested the guy
yes
so it tells you say obi yesade na look sharp
yes.
The last time Nanwa de Yani a Quatakra, the mammy be by or so, my who's has so kita handbag pay. The person can do cage ni be mammy. Na ka o kase, me no yaman go back. I'm say, Madam, me talk at na me 2 days I went to Nameko, and when your man mafano, me about your mini cage be a day mount. So I think that mistake is so a dim crop innocent person who any problem.
To buttress it, you know, about no qua. What they do is say, I want the name when she more airports. And the one opportunity
exactly.
And you were or major near my Shamo airport, men called Jina airport and called you be near because you will not get a chance to. And this I never what do you moon now?
Exactly, Ubenyasem.
And I told you, Papa. I told you, Papa.
Now, one way, obey you one. No, Yacho, no, we are Chewa. And you, Shiawa, no, I don't know. Near Chewa, I reckon the 2 foot row. Because
the interesting thing is that Nippon or the Nema no Mano, the Nema may not be his because maybe him say we are, but the brow, yes, I wouldn't want down for you to cry. So you equally may be innocent. Also, now so they are come so the chain will be overhead of a crowd and I won't know. What has ever make a you know, Sadney man there. I didn't probably bring to problem and I think that we are young person now we want to survive fraud about you can never engage in fraud and get away. I don't know, you must be a fool to think there US that money will pass through the financial system because sometimes they allow the money to go through and they will put a tab on it. Check wherever every single dollar will go. And America can easily do that because the entire financial chain that we are seeing, the transfer is their design, is their own creation. So you must be a fool to think there. No. The best thing you can do is that maybe we just now they are covered so ship na what they are back. Now yes, who transfer about bank. It's not possible. So I wonder why a boy see na my for omunyanchewa no obuyenyamfiwa ebi ana when you subject of interest and I be one who say oh no you are just a recipient of the power account nkaka bia we involved but you cannot do fraud and yes I say omunyamhuye the America can give you a long group like 10 years a grace period and America say when they come calling on their software now Dudona will shock you. Or these are people who have gone past that phase. They are in a different life altogether. But why are in the past? What I said? We are moved here in the year. And see, I do food here, but Ghana
for. Yes.
My family for account. Now, no, account. Account exactly the point. We need to be very, very careful.
All right. right, and your mammy, you know, now, air course, I think, say, no, you bet me a carbon because some of Crawford, you are not fair day. Road ministry at work, a cry, after a Juma Goja, terminating some of the contracts, any other. But you are not on pre any Afenyo marking or more actual petition, a quackoma, President Mahama on cocoa prices, or more can want some, and I think so some of the issues are. Or more can almost doom saba and also much petition a president.
On your name.
And I feel you upon Kroma say they didn't accuse Bank of Ghana of mismanagement, they were only highlighting their problems. Now I hope my answer Ivan Crabbe Bemulo upon Kroma say what or open wine you can say. Honorable to forcing and then I debate on Pesa Mijemfi. Now classmates in to forcing. I don't know if I for that time now no debating. Now some of you crowd to me no. Now to already I go. I man young I said
party is serious now problem na lady economic debate.
Oh some of you dwane.
O problem na lady economic debate ya.
Upon Kroma. Me say upon Kroma bro osuro some of you who na yam di brim. Pesa some new information anko bi sa miracle e ma ni nchire mu yie dia wasa wo yanso akwashi asami jefi wan bo no kwashi asami jefi wo joy a o school ni wi afa de ade che MPB wa akwotena ho keka se ade asami jefi ye na wa ma da sua ade anyway
yeah,
oh god
I think it's the same thing. People are not ready to learn.
Yeah.
And you see these are people who are still stuck in the past politics. The 1990 politics, this kind of, and you see, and you must be a shameless person to be able to do the things that Afenyo Market and Co are doing.
Yeah.
My culture said these are people who are not coming from China. And Semhuna Akoso in the last 8 years, these were the key architects.
Yeah.
Ghana nearly slipped into the tunnel of distraction, both economic, political, democratically, all aspects. Even your social fabric, Nankasa became so corrupted to the point say Ghana were crying for some sort of an intervention to happen. Yeah. Few months after, these people are gathered momentum, running around, selling nothing but nonsense to the people of this country, thinking, say, it is the old school politics, they can survive with it. It's so annoying, you understand? Because for me, my question is, how did we get here? Because this cocoa politics, this is a desperate people who have nothing reasonable to offer. It's the reason why they are still stuck in this cocoa politics, because what is the issue?
Sure.
Petitioning President Mahama said, because the President Mahama is the leader of the government, and any decision that is taken at the cocoa board, the president is involved. There was a cabinet meeting at where this particular issue was resolved. A directive was given to the governor, to the finance minister, and cocoa board to follow suit. That directive was given by the president. And if the decision of the president is what is being implemented, now we are a sensible person. Will you petition the same president on the same subject? It means that you have nothing to do. Because Ato Forcing cannot sit at the finance ministry and do whatever he wants to do. The CEO of Cocoa Board and even board of directors cannot take certain decisions without the president knowing. You understand?
Yeah.
And you see, the whole situation has been intervened. The point is that our cocoa board currently, the global cocoa price is the same thing. I drop it to a point. Cote d'Ivoire as a country, and they are paying their people half of what the price used to be. Fortunately for Ghana, they've had a president say, I will not pay you half. I will give you everything we get from the global stage and also from the world market. This is the sacrifice you can get from any president. That is what is being done. And you have these jokers running around, sitting in cocoa farms, telling cocoa farmers, they're buying. So you want the president to go and sell cocoa bar and now on your You see, this politics of dishonesty, and people still thinking that people are idiots, so they can just package some of this nonsense, go and sell it to them, and for political whatever. No, they said that era is gone. And again, I said, Doomso. I told you said that Doomso was a face. Not pass it because there was a challenge. The Doomso that we saw, is it what we are witnessing today? These jokers left a mountain of debt. President Mahama no more accused no na buy over to be free. He paid 1.4 billion. It was around 22 billion. And ECG was in gutters. The last time I buy the rundown of your energy mix. Say Kufuor air corner. Na Ghana your energy generation capacity at the time was 1,920 something megawatt of power. Ofri so President Mahama buy your energy generation needs outpace your capacity, your production capacity. Then the nation was thrown into doomso. President Mahama was accused for being the chief engineer of the doomso. Exactly. But the crisis was something people never envisaged and did something about it. He accepted the responsibility and made sure. So my country said he is the biggest investor in the Ghana energy sector. Anybody who doubts it, can bring it up. Because the megawatt he added at the time of RST in 2016, 2017, all the investment are coming on stream. We were running over 5,000 megawatts of power. This is a gentleman who did this investment. Jokers who are making this noise and ask them, say, how many megawatts did they add to your generation capacity? Nanti obu hunyansa generate bi de kan ho a nkane na nkane ye bre. What I say? Politics no ye say be ye manyansa amram ne ye hu se nipa na ye kasa kire omo no enye omo nti nwuram ana omo nti nsuo so. These are reasonable people who subject everything to critical scrutiny. Because sa investment no mo ye bia me se nkane akonso mo na esi wono my jantom na enhye. We can still have energy generation capacity enough, because if President Mahama took it over 5,000 and then Kufuor they call 7,000 per I think discussions are ongoing just to ensure that solar 200 megawatts of power will come on stream and another 1,000 megawatts. That is why I told you that President Mahama is a fixer. Or no, he solved the problems. These people come, use the state machinery to make money for themselves, destroy the nation, leave the nation intact. They go sit on the sidelines and be talking nonsense. And we have a cheap media that will give publicity to some of this nonsense that they do. People will not ask them the critical questions. Me, sometimes people think doing what we do is just about criticizing. No, we are not mad people who obey the papa no abatana criticizing. We are very critical, very analytical people looking at the details of everything. And sana over comment. The question is, doomso na wokano. I don't know why doomso is a face, because complain a man for your videos covered in after 1 week in there, 2 weeks in there, now resolve. What is the no, because investment ban or these are shameless bunch of people. They have no sense of shame. And they can just say anything, because I'll feel ashamed if I did not contribute a single megawatt of power to this. Me am saying about China about accusing fix doomso no. Now me say in the put baby kabi.
Yeah, ready. Under the list said about him.
Which me cover a Mary power, a Mary President Mahama cover by ye chain form di na templain former Emma. Ye so ho delegation mo ko so mo hwehwem. Ye wi na ka o mo abonye kaketwa. Then yaniba hosono na yatamasi ade so e de kwa asante region ko seven nipa na we nipa wo dwene ko akiri nyansa wo tima nya politics na ayamfo na sabe ya politics no nipa wo nim nyansa be afuru gina stage ni so a enka who will give these people oxygen of way. Politics is becoming a very embarrassing enterprise in this country, because I think there are a lot of fools have taken over the stage.
Exactly.
And they are selling nothing but these things. Now we are very smart. now what's in China we say now head there you know why this country will never progress. Because on my and so when it comes to key decision making, you know, that nation will suffer.
Exactly. But Napo told us. He told us from 2017 ABC 2024 cabinet members are not mukonyina ba umiapa na no nim nyansa, even including the certain president now check cabinet nanado.
So
Napo da kai
and the media no bibia so me say problem I wo kroma media. The last time I was fighting these people with this no bear syndrome then as a for no me catch us say Abronye misa no wu no has nothing to do with no bear syndrome.
Yeah,
because an emergency situation nipa na ba hospital, the person is bleeding, stop the bleeding. Na kwabrania kwatena media house afremi somebody has been turned away from Way hospital for no bear syndrome. What the hell? These people are packaging ignorance and are selling to people, giving it a certain executive tag because it's coming from a particular place. People believe it, and the whole nation will go so-called English platforms. Nonsense throughout. Because what's in Yama we see an emergency situation, you can even attend to the person in the ambulance because the person is dying. The person has maybe 2 minutes to leave because the person is bleeding. You cannot tell the person yam panunko hospital for and even the ambulance, a doctor or a nurse was supposed to be because the person was dying throughout the journey. They left them and the panakwaku instead of you to discuss the issue as it is. Now, no bear syndrome there, nobody but make us a bear. You need challenge. You want challenge. But the peculiarity of the issue at question, you know, in hand, you know, had nothing to do with no bear syndrome. And you have people sitting on TV using nonsense of expression to justify this under the guise of English. Me say this nation is sick. And sometimes you feel so disappointed. You feel like, what time about Ghana couple of Biatanabana or Ashia no Biashia? Because you need answer. Yes, that is the truth. Yeah, because on mine sometimes one man not me who near my team so just ask the pay womb but the last time I make control. Baby a traffic light to see. Light no say nipa twam. Na ya bar stop for na car sa park and the light na so say nipa twam no. Car no nya kwan ko because ya block it. Police ni gina ho kura phone gina no now say o man we better ye. Na me catch say nyame ni mo black man ko heavy and am so no ankasa kwa nye serious. Ye nim nyansa and ye na ma asase we so. Yeah, the weakest of God's creation. Yeah, traffic light say nipa twam. And ya say bus stop for traffic light na. And I trot for that park or one of block it. Yes. It's light. Yes. Yes. And I MTT the knee. Ejina fin wire. Yes. The all say lights is so red no bin twam no ni na chim jiska. Yes. So uko Spenters Road na bacho na wo yedu bacho na filling station Eco Bank ni mu ha. Eco Bank ni mu ha. Police for gina ho. I say nipa nim nyansa wo say school na e come so by na also. Because traffic they be able to do traffic light na ya because traffic for na parking or police ni gina ho car na so no nipa ntumi nko because car no twam a traffic na parking or say the road is narrow. That's how mine when nipa wo mo pe heaven akọ. Nya me se nyankopon no kokko bu ni kom kura na asama san because ye nim nyansa. Yeah, God. You understand why you see what people don't think say so be ye was asase we so no and started from her is the mindset. And what me hu nipa bi obi na no kasa timi se nipa onye yeda. Oh yes. Na obi otimi oti ho no na bra bo otimi kasa bayifo na ye no nam paibo. Ubeda ye. Sa nipa no ba hu ni obeda nam sa na ka akobo na kunu na samasa because onye na just obe take responsibility. I didn't want to say, let me sit and reflect. Na me ankasa me ntoto me niema ye. Or by phone na no. The very moment you shift responsibility to obi no, then you are free. You can do whatever and you will never be successful. You understand? So I think say we need to pause as a country sometimes development may not come from president and as a we are impeding your development and nipa na umba buama sa nema we adwene ni team nipa na ogina no anso ya pamata de ahye no zombie na ogina ho yes on check traffic ndi ohunyansa hu se ba bia cars ni gina na block kwan and enye honko a opa onami check almost all the traffic lights nyina utwama
there's a bus stop
na ya block kwan ti ka na twam kwa nipa nya na oman be nie oman we be da yeye yenim nyansa and I'm saying Yankopon cry very disappointed. And you want to pay heavy anchor on to my dream. Oh, yeah. And then your men and Casa serious. And no, Nankasa serious. Because your me is serious. On Casa be missing co heaven. Messi Ottawana or Marco Cambo could booty comb. Then your men are crazy from the Samasa.
That's the level of greediness I want to be it's terrible. Oh God. Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree with you because me the way that cheap in Ghana would they and what to us so yeah road minister honorable governor Abuja echo approbe maybe they can be me call a contombra copy more enchi call pechinum any job
Dedi kama amena PENDREAM TV ase na so far so good say open online portal e wo Ghana nipa share nipa follow nipa comment here to my best of knowledge without any biases PENDREAM TV